we are contemplating on something very important. And also, Pope Francis wants us to join with him in the effort of saving our natural world. It's very important because natural world is a gift from God, and it does not belong only to us, it belongs to the future generations. So that makes us more responsible to protect this part of creation, the soil, the water, the air, the life, as if it were a caress of God. That's what Pope Francis writes. It is so dear to God, we found that it was good. But how come we are turned into a pile of filth, he's asking. So I think we have disappointed God's expectations. That's what he writes in the paragraph number 60 of Laudato Si. If we scan the regions of our planet, immediately we see that humanity has disappointed God's expectations. It's a very painful verse. So we need to join with these efforts. And he has written his encyclical in 2015. With that writing, he has committed almost 2.2 billion people to this cause of protecting the earth, and talking about all the Christians. Of course, there are different other religions in India. In other countries, maybe only one faith of people living in a country, but in India, it's a multi-religious people. There are Hindus, there are Jains, there are Buddhists, there are Parsis, and there are even little bit of Jews and Christians. So a lot of denominations coexist in India. So that makes us more responsible to involve all these religions, bring them together to care for creation. To begin with, this problem is not caused by one sect of people. Many people accuse Christianity as the cause for this ecological crisis. I wouldn't agree with that. Maybe Christians caused predominantly, I know, but it was not caused by only one fraction of people. The cause was really can be traced to all religions. It's about 7.5 billion people involved in that caused ecological crisis. So we need to involve all religions in order to solve this global problem. Only Christians around 2.2 billion people, we can do a little bit, but we can't solve the universal ecological crisis. For that reason, we need to involve all other religions. That's why Pope Francis is very particular when he is writing the encyclical. He uses the word, this encyclical is directed to all the people of goodwill. It is not only directed for Christian people. All the people, those who have goodwill, can join in this effort. But also this being a center of multi-religious activity, and before our Acharya Guru Chinnappa, before Father Joseph Samarakot, before that Father Amal Raj, they put in plenty of hours here to make interfaith dialogue and to understand a lot of precepts for the common good of the future. So this place is working for the common good. There is no self-interest here. It's for the common good. So we have been communing and dialoguing with different religions. So today my anguish is I would like to ask the Acharya Guru, Father Chinnappa, can we really solve this problem of climate change and global warming, extinction of species, issue of water, loss of biodiversity? Above all, can we come out of ecological crisis and make this place beautiful again? Actually, United Nations, IPCC, is predicting that there will be 4 degrees Celsius increase by the turn of this century. So that makes us more responsible, and also the issue is becoming more urgent, and we need to call different religious people, and then we need to bring our experience, rich experience, and share and sort out this issue and come out with a consensus or a plan how to tackle this global problem. So that is what we are going to do. So thanks for joining with us, and Father Chinnappa, Acharya Guru, it's so nice to have you. You've got vast amount of experience in this field of engaging different faiths and probably finding solutions for our 21st century problems. I would like to ask you, there are different religions. I'm going to really, what is that? I want you to answer about Christianity's actions in the future to solve the ecological crisis, and also Islam's approach, and Hindus' approach, Jaina approach, and Buddhist approach. So I think we will limit for the 5 religions. These are the major religions in India. So I would like to ask you first Christian efforts, because Christians, we are almost 2.2 billion people now existing on the planet. So it's a huge religion, and it's a big population. And can these people do something substantially to reverse the climate change, or to reverse the greenhouse effect, or any other problems, and probably create clean weather and clean ecosystems, and we can restore the value and the dignity to Mother Earth. So I think you have vast amount of experience in this regard. I would like you to shed some light how Christian people are going to involve themselves in solving this ecological crisis.
Thank you for this invitation to be part of this discussion. And as you have rightly introduced this topic, and what role this Christian faith can play in the solving of this ecological crisis, I feel that Christians are called these days to live a scripture-based life. That is, the Bible, the first book of the Bible begins with creation story, and how God, after creating everything, finding it good, creates the humankind, and the command of God to kill and keep it was misunderstood over the years. At least now, we Christians try to understand it rightly. Kill and keep it is not to use it for for our greed, but to sort of love and care for the creation God has handed over to humankind. That itself is a beautiful message that each Christian can have from his own scripture. And then when we look at also the life of Jesus, especially, he was very close to nature, and he was the person who was able to bring in lessons for his followers' life from the nature. Always invitation by Jesus to learn from the nature and to live like the nature, live in union with nature. Since Christians strongly kind of believe that Jesus is their Lord and Savior, surely his life is an example, the model for everyone to live a life that way, and the simple life that Jesus has lived and shown. More exploitation takes place, the more we keep multiplying our needs. As Gandhi rightly said, the earth or the world has enough for our needs and not for our greed. Today we experience this ecological crisis due to man's greed. So much man wants to possess this, possess that. So in order to have everything under his control, he tries to exploit the nature. So therefore, the so-called the church leadership, the Holy Father, was the Pope through their encyclicals and through the church documents, there has been a constant invitation to the faithful of the church and followers of the Christian faith to know their role, their right role, and their right relationship with God-given gift called the earth and this creation, and to love and respect and see in what way they can be co-creators or continue this creation of God by playing a right role in it. So therefore, it's in every way, from the scripture, from the life of Jesus, and the church leadership constantly inviting people to love, to respect nature, and to live in union with it, and also they are warning the Christians what would be the catastrophe or the problems that we would be facing if we don't sort of take responsibility to save Mother Earth. So therefore, surely Christians today understand, and this particular faith, Christianity, is ready and willing to give its contribution to saving this Mother Earth.
Very nice. Thank you, Father Chinnappa, Acharya Guru. I think I understand that Christianity was all the time teaching about caring the Mother Earth. Maybe the followers, actually the popes have done a good job of raising the consciousness of preserving the earth, but only at the bottom level, we, the followers, did not get the message. In other words, in the whole structure, some people have failed to pass that knowledge to the lower sections of our religion. That's why people, they didn't act in time. So now we are running out of time. But now, at last, the Pope has come up with an encyclical which is loud enough all over the world. So this encyclical made a big impact on the international community, even though popes before that they wrote, but it didn't reach to the bottom section of the people. So I think for the past 5 years, Christianity made a big impact. So that is what I understand. And thanks for the enlightenment. And the second section I would like to ask you is to shed some light on the religion of Islam, because Islam is the second largest religion in the world, having 1.6 billion people. So, and also it is one of the Abrahamic religions. It is a sister religion of Christianity and Judaism, so known as the monotheistic religions, that is Judaism, Islam and Christianity. Abraham is the father of all. So I think we share the same scriptures. The Old Testament is the base for all the interpretations for Islamic theology, Christian theology and Judaic theology. So I think in your previous talk you were talking about Genesis chapters 1 and 2, where we are taught how to relate with the natural world. So I think Islam is also having the same text. So I think, can you shed some light on the efforts of Islam to combat the climate change and the global warming and to solve the ecological crisis.
See, the faith, Islam, also believes in God who is a creator. So that seems to be kind of inviting people also to consider themselves or look at themselves as creatures of that God, Allah, who has created them. Therefore, the scripture that is given to this particular religion through Prophet Muhammad is a religion that, of the many aspects or, the qualities of God they speak. The outstanding quality is one of God as, a kind of a creator, and He is close to all that He has created. And of course, the second important quality the Holy Quran would speak of is God being very compassionate, merciful, compassionate and merciful, and also forgiving. Therefore, this God, the Creator God, Allah, is a God who also wants all His creation and all that He has created to live in peace and harmony. This every Muslim knows about it. So no Muslim is expected to sort of any sin a Muslim commits against any of the thing that God has created is a sin against God Himself, is the understanding the Muslims have. And the logo of the religious symbol, that the symbol that represents Islam is the crescent and the star. It's actually they are the symbols from God's creation. The crescent representing the moon, and the star representing the galaxy of stars. Telling people that God is very much present in their life through all that He has created. Kind of making the life of people more happier, and even making their pilgrimage here on earth very smoother, is the work of God. It looks, the crescent especially, we all know the birthplace of this particular religion, Islam, and it's a kind of a desert where people cannot just think of traveling. It's so hot it is, and it's much more challenging. But the promise that is given through this religious symbol is one of that God is there as a light, and God is also there to make the life more of cooler and calmer, so that they make this pilgrimage quite easily, pilgrimage towards God more easily. And I am sure whenever we speak to the Muslim brethren and invite them for worship and invite them for also dialogue, we have no difficulty. They always give their consent and they are present, and they have no problem in accepting God as their creator, and they are also ready and willing to support any initiative that we would take towards saving this Mother Earth. That is very, very important. We find, these people, the followers of this particular faith, are also living wherever they are, very, very close to nature, and they see God in nature. Of course, for them, God is above all that He has created. But however, they have great respect for all that God has created, and therefore they would surely join hands with the rest of the religions of the world towards bringing solution to these issues that are related to the climate or related to the whole cosmos.
That is absolutely enlightening views you have just now given. I always thought Islam, the Muslims, they live in Middle East where they constantly face with the drought conditions and extreme heat and no water and no green vegetation. It's a hostile environment in which most of the Muslims are living. So for them, global warming, climate change, it is not a shock for them because they have been living in the global warming and climate change for their entire life. So if at all, solutions if they could give, only they are the apt people because they have had experience living in the hostile environment. But now we are facing the same hostile environment in our own ecosystems. So I think Islam, the people who belong to Islam, they can show the way out because they have got expertise and they have got wisdom. As you said, their scripture is based on compassion, mercy. Quran means compassion. Allah means the most compassionate. So I think we are using that word very often. I think today compassion, really we should extend not only to humans and also to the soil, water, air, other forms of life. They can use it. So I think Islam can contribute enormous amount of resources towards solving the ecological crisis. I agree with you. Let's continue with the third religion, major religion in India, that is Hinduism. Almost 1 billion people we are talking about. And India, it's an ancient India, and almost life flourished here. We call it Indus civilization, almost 3500 BCE. So our people have lived in balance with the mother nature. Our Hindu scriptures and our Hindu philosophy, it's all agrarian, with much of in relation with soil, water, air, and there is no dualism here. In Western philosophy, the God and nature and humans are fragmented. But in Hinduism, all of them are single unity. So that has made our people to live amicably with the rest of creation. Even animal like monkeys, snakes, elephants, all of them are considered to be gods. We call it pantheism. So there are a lot of animist societies in India that help Indians to nurture the respect and value for other parts of creation. There are sacred groves in India and sacred mountains in India, sacred rivers in India. So that is amazing in India what Indian or experience given today. It can be a role model country for the rest of the world. But today, of course, after globalization, after science and technology, India really is going for high economic growth. I know that. So we are drifting away from our ideals. So still Indians can bring back the old values system back to solve the ecological crisis. We are able. India has always done that. India is so smart, you can do anything. So I think I'm proud about being an Indian as far as that we are related to Mother Earth. India has established almost 500 sanctuaries and 140 national parks. No country on the planet has done that far. So India has done it. So I think other people can learn from India, and also in India, the present Indian people, like the modern youngsters, do you think they will join with the efforts in solving our ecological practices? I would like to ask that question.
As you rightly introduced this religion, which is a major religion of our country, India, that the Hindus are very, very close to nature, and for them, everything is sacred, holy. That is a kind of philosophy of life. They all live, whether educated or illiterate, rich or poor, religious or irreligious, all are in some way, living this philosophy of life. That everything they see it with eyes of faith, and they have great respect and reverence for every creature of God. And the so-called people who have given this faith, the rishis, the sadhus, the mystics, all of them, receive this wisdom, actually living their life in a forest or on the mountains and in the caves. So it is in the natural setting that they received this ancient wisdom, the so-called Vedas or even the Upanishads, and all of the Hindu scriptures that we speak about are gifts of nature, who of course given to people of this faith, particular faith, as well as given to the rest of the world through the so-called spiritual masters. And I think if at all the religions kind of join hands in solving the psychological crisis, this Hindu faith would be the one kind of campaigning, kind of leading this movement, leading this religious group to solving and settling this so-called psychological crisis, simply because we see the Hindus, in comparison to the people of other faith, live very close to nature, and for them anything and everything is sacred. You said the mountain is sacred, the animals are sacred, the trees are sacred, the rivers are sacred, and of course even they believe that God is present in every one of his creatures. They have great respect and they have great reverence, and for them worship of nature, worship of every creature of God is a creature of God is worship of God himself, or God herself. So it's really a beautiful religion which can very well kind of show directions and kind of show a way of life to all the people of all other faiths to adapt in this 21st century, so that it's not a big project or a program that is going to solve this issue, the problem of climate change or the problem of ecological crisis, but it is kind of each one of us adopting a simple way of life, and also kind of living a life very, very close to nature. And Hindu religions have great respect for the gurus and the spiritual masters who continue to actually sustain this faith. Where do they live? Maybe many of them have ashrams. And what kind of setting they have these ashrams? If you ask, you will always find an ashram at the foot of the mountain. Now when we go today to the Himalayas, we will find at the foot of the Himalayas so many ashrams, kind of spiritual centers, and so many caves where men and women have spent years together, kind of trying to understand God and trying to understand also what sort of relationship they ought to develop with the rest of God's creation. And one beautiful thing that would always invite every Hindu, for that matter, every believer, is that this achieving of one's union with God, or even a kind of experiencing God, is not possible without a person relating well, developing an intimate relationship with the rest of God's creation. So, the ultimate goal of achieving one's union is always through one's relationship with the other and one's relationship with the nature. So it is almost, if you see, even in the different stages of this Hindu's life, with the so-called ashramas, slowly the grahastha leading a person to vanaprastha, and then he becomes a sannyasa. The vanaprastha is almost living in the forest, living in the jungle. That is almost given to every Hindu as this kind of higher stage in life. Therefore, Hindu is not against nature, but he is a lover of nature, and he lives his daily life very close to nature. And for them, surely it's a concern that this Mother Earth cannot just be seen as an object to be exploited and used for our needs, but they are all extension of this divine. Therefore, every creature of God, especially this nature, this Mother Earth, has to be given with due respect and reverence. That way, I think, as I said, Hindu faith can surely kind of lead this religious group towards settling and solving the ecological crisis that we face in 21st century.
Thank you. Talking about leadership, that's well said. Hinduism can lead in this struggle to solve the problem of climate change and global warming and ecological crisis. Actually, talking about leadership, Kancheepuram is the seat of leadership of Rayappa philosophy, where Advaita means one. There is no rules. Whatever separation you conceive, it is a maya, it's an illusion. So everything is together, God, human, and creation. So that is what you just now mentioned. They keep up their relationship with God and human and nature, everything in one union, in one entity. There is no separation there. Even Brahma, Shiva, Vishnu is seen as one, like triune entity, Trinitarian. It is not separate. Every moment, every minute they live together as the Christian Trinitarian concept of living together. So I think Hinduism has got a lot of wisdom to offer to other religious beliefs. They can lead because they got 1 billion people. Still we are increasing. And they have done it always well when it comes to the relationship with the human or God or creation. So they can deal with it. I fully agree with that. But now I'm coming to another religion called Buddhism. Of course, Buddhism was born in India. Buddha was born in ancient India, was in Nepal, Kapilavastu. But he lived and got enlightenment in India. And Buddhism as a religion flourished in India 500 years before Christ. Almost even to the 4th and 5th century, Buddhists were living in India. But slowly Hinduism integrated Buddhism in its own Buddhism became a part of Hinduism now. That's what I feel. Many religious thinkers also feel that way. So now there are almost 500 million Buddhists living around the world. So these people are living in a simple countries like Tibet. Even Dalai Lama is living in India now, in Dharmashala. So a lot of Buddhist people are now coming from Tibet and other countries also. They are coming and living in India. A considerable amount of community is thriving in India right now. So how Buddhism, with the 500 million people and also their leadership, Dalai Lama, can contribute in solving the present ecological crisis?
Buddhism, is not fully considered as one of the religions. There are people who see Buddhism as a way of life, and the concept of the principle of ahimsa, that Jainism strictly practices, is practiced by many of the Buddhists, not only the monks belonging to this faith, but even just ordinary Buddhist family is reminded every day. In the morning when they go to their prayer room, the first the promise they make is one of that they will not harm any creature. They will not harm any living being is the promise they make. They not only make in the morning, they also, before they retire to bed in the evening, they examine themselves as to how they have built this promise. And if they sincerely feel that they have not lived according to this promise, they ask pardon from Buddha himself. And if I have, knowingly or unknowingly violated this law of respect for all creatures, living beings, I am very sorry, Buddha. Therefore, ahimsa is not by all, majority of the Buddhists, especially the so-called leaders and the monks of the Buddhist faith, practice this very, very much. They are all vegetarians, and just like the Jains, they like to be ahimsavaadis. This we find, and they have also great love and respect for the so-called the tree, the Bodhi tree, all. As long as Buddha was in the palace, enlightenment was not that possible for him. But whereas the context of the forest or the nature that in which that Buddha kind of spent his time, spent his life for 5 years where he was kind of a jungle, spending his time with trees, plants, animals, birds, and in an open space, and that too under a tree, you should have that enlightenment. Therefore, every Buddhist see a tree of this kind as a sacred one, just as simply because Buddha got enlightenment under the tree. And I'm sure the Buddhists are not people who are against nature, but they are people who love nature, and they almost see their life is more happier and more meaningful only when they live in kind of friendship with nature. So they will be ready and willing to say that the planet Earth and to say the Mother Earth, that we should be, so we invite them to join in this effort of saving Mother Earth.
Well said, Father Chamathar. Actually, Buddhism talks so much about interdependence. So I need you and you need me. We need Earth's elements, especially Kancheepuram, to survive. So we need other creatures to support our progress. So we need trees for oxygen. We need ecosystem services for recycling, water, air, and we need carbon sinks. So the interdependence is more talked about in Buddhism. And also they talk about that co-rising. When the sun rises, the whole nature rises with the sun. The grasses sprout, flowers open, birds get up, they sing, and we also get up and we also begin to work. So that is called co-rising. So it is well said, but also compassion. We practice to the extreme. Even Dalai Lama talks more about compassion. So I think Buddhism, even though they have only 500 million people, they have been contributing so far because their carbon footprint is very less. A country like Bhutan is normally carbon negative, that is what they call it. Nepal, Tibet, even Sri Lanka, all those Buddhist countries, they have a very low carbon footprint. Already they are not polluting much. And there are people also very, they call a simple lifestyle. We were talking about leading a simple lifestyle. That is a good effort in combating climate change. So already they are doing it. So I think Dalai Lama is also appealing to the international community to go for a simple lifestyle, not going for eyes on the road. Probably Dalai Lama would appeal to their monk system to come down to low economic growth. That is enough. In low economic growth, ecology and the economy can find sustainability. But today, high economic growth is putting pressure on the health systems and everything is being destroyed. So when you look with eyes of compassion, especially through Buddhism, and you feel sorry, and you want to really change your lifestyle. Yeah. Anyway, thank you. We will continue in a moment. All right? We have come almost to the end point of our discussion. I would like to ask about Jainism, because Jainism and Buddhism appeared in India at the same time. Jainism was started by Mahavira, Buddhism was started by Buddha, almost 500 to 600 years before Christ. So Jainism has such a beautiful ethical system they have built on non-violence and truthfulness and renunciation, etc., etc. They call them Mahabharatas. So, such a beautiful religion, slowly Jaina monks all died, and Jains, many of them died. Only 3 to 4 million Jains are living in India. But they have got a very profound ethical system which talks about the conservation of the natural world. So I think even though they have very few Jaina followers, can they make a difference in solving the present ecological crisis?
This brings been right from its foundation, faith have been, as we said, preserving the nature, preserving every other living creature. I've been living with a lot of love and respect for God's creation, I would say. You know, there's first and important principle of ahimsa always invites them to live a very, very simple life, to live in a manner that they don't in any way harm or hurt the other creature. And their lifestyle is very, very kind of invites every other people in the world to care even for the tiniest creature of God. For example, ants or small fly, and the reason why they cover their mouth or nose, and many of them don't wear footwear. They always, even when they sleep on the floor, they make sure they sweep it with feathers, stick of feathers, and they lie down and they look around to see nothing of God's creature is harm. They are very, very beautiful. While many of the religions talk about God's kingdom and the human kingdom, this beautiful religion, Jainism, talks about also vegetative and animal kingdom. They don't only talk about heaven and hell. They also have the other two kingdoms, human kingdom and the other one is vegetable and animal kingdom are equally important for the Jains. So surely they don't sort of talk aloud, they don't preach, they are not into a very big vision of solving many of the problems that we all face, but every Jain, through his very life, invites the other to always live a simple life and to live close to nature and to take care, to protect and save every creature of God. Okay? And it's really a beautiful religion, and the Jains may not be a big number today, but their philosophy has inspired so many others. Even I have read from your own book that Jesus' teaching was very much based on the Jains' philosophy and their teaching. So that way, I believe it's not how many Jains are there to sort of come forward to join people of other faith to solving this problem, but their very, their core values like ahimsa, truth and so on, and even being compassionate and being loving, is really kind of inspiring values they are, and they are very important values. All others have to learn from the Jains, and surely Jains can contribute very much to these core values and to their very life towards solving this problem that we face right now.
Wow, well said, Acharya Guru, that even though Jains are only few in number, but their ethical system, what they have written, their treaties are loud enough to be heard by the world community. And as you said, the non-violence is the biggest message in preserving the ecosystems. And truth force, Satya, that is another force on which the whole ethics system, like righteousness, justice, intergenerational justice, sustainable development, all those kind of things are very much needed at this hour and the world community can use those resources without any hesitation. So also you were talking about the mask. Jain people, they don't want to kill anything, or they don't want to inhale, because in that way it is a death for that creature. So they don't want to kill anything. So they are wearing masks. So I think today the whole world has become Jainas. If you have been married, all of them wearing masks. So I think we have come to a Jain ethical system. What a coincidence. It is really ironical. But it is lovely to see Jaina people even today. They follow the same lifestyle. Also they have the peacocks, feathers, while they walk around, they avoid the path, especially during this rainy season. There are a lot of insects crawling on the road, and we accidentally step on some and maybe we kill them. So they don't want to do that. If you ask a Jaina follower, is it lawful to kill coronavirus? He will say no. No, you shouldn't do that. You should never harm anything. Because everything is created with a purpose. Every creature plays a role for the common good of the planet. If you kill one creature, your common good is going to suffer. That is simple. That's why God found everything was good. Every creature has its own place. God did not create anything bad. He created everything good, including viruses, pathogens, bacteria, humans. Everything is created with a purpose, and let us not harm them. So non-violence, it doesn't belong in the natural world. So we are shunned altogether. So that's a good lesson to learn from them. And I think if you stop all the non-violent attitudes, I think nature is going to benefit without any doubt. The last question, we didn't plan that before, but I would like to really pose a challenge. Actually, Pope Francis is telling all religions to join together in combating this ecological crisis. At the same time, he is telling we should also dialogue with other fractions, with other realms which pollute naturally the natural world. So he is asking religions to join together, religions dialogue with economy, because economy is the biggest polluter with their transportation system, with their energy consumption, with their products, cars, all they are polluting anyway. So religion should dialogue with them. And also religion should dialogue with politics, because politicians, they are the cause for a lot of problems. So we need to dialogue with them. And now we need to dialogue with technology. Religion in dialogue with science. So I think economy, politics, and technology or science, in other words, science. So can this place, your ashram, Aanmodhaya ashram, so far, you have been dialoguing with the other religions. That's what we have been discussing. But now can this place in the future, bringing all these religious people together and do dialogue with other fractions, those who really pollute and those who really destroy the natural world. Don't you think it is reasonable to bring them to this platform and find out and become transparent with them and then discuss with them and probably ask them, welcome some suggestions from them, and you give them some suggestions to them, and probably you see their presentation and then you judge on their presentation and you act or you create or you nudge them towards the preservation of the ecosystems and preservation of the land, water and air. So you think it will be possible in future? Will all the ashrams would agree to this kind of proposal? And maybe don't you think ashrams should move to next level in dialoguing with this kind of systems?
Only, ashrams, whichever the ashram, whether it is a Hindu ashram or Christian ashram or, ashram belonging to any other faith, the setup of every ashram is a very, very natural setup. They are, kind of put up either at the foot of mountains or hills, or on the bank of the rivers, or they are in the forest. So always ashrams are places where there is, nature, where there is, where there are people who are living close to nature, and always there is also love and care for nature and promotion of nature taking place in every ashram. Whichever the religion and ashram may belong to, whether it is Christian or Hindu, almost all the ashrams have a spirituality of caring for nature, caring for God's creation. And the founders of this particular ashram, Aanmodhaya, always believed that this ashram will always serve as a kind of a nursery garden where the so-called attitudes, that good attitudes will be nurtured in the lives of people. People always who desire for God cannot just experience Him in and through without loving and without respecting the nature, but always this God can be experienced only in and through the nature that He has created. And you see, some of the essential features of the Christian ashram or the ashram spirituality are very good. Actually, they, in a way, kind of dialogue with the economy, dialogue with the politics, dialogue also with the modernity, the so-called science and technology. I would simply say the silence, for example, that is kind of a general norm in every ashram, is not only for God experience. It is, we maintain silence so that we don't disturb the creatures that surround us, and we are able to hear the voice of God through God's creation, through the nature amidst which we are living. So it is also out of love, respect and reverence for all of the creatures here, we maintain silence. So that is one thing. And second thing is the simplicity of life, that we have adopted in the ashram is a kind of a counterculture. You see, so much is a kind of a consumeristic mindset which the world is moving. Almost, people are after things. People are, wanting to accumulate things. We, live a very simple life here, and we tell the people outside that happiness, peace, and fulfillment, and even meaning in life is possible in simple lifestyle. Because people believe so much, that they can have happiness only when they have things, only when they accumulate things. So therefore, every ashramite, whichever the religion he or she may belong to, lives a simplicity of life as a kind of a counterculture to our modern world where people are very much consumeristic, people who are after things and so on. And then the third one is every ashram is an open community. The hospitality, the heart that we kind of show to every person who comes here, not only a person from India, any person from anywhere, is welcome to live in this context, to live in a community. He is so free that he can, kind of come anytime, go anytime, and he can also live his life in this context of an ashram, according to the spirit that would, lead him and guide him. And the goal of the ashram life is one of building God's kingdom. So this kingdom is not simply, a kingdom where only human beings, will find their place, but it's a kingdom where we would surely experience a kind of, fellowship, brotherhood and sisterhood with the rest of God's creation, finding ourselves back in relationship with all God's creation is what we understand as the kingdom. And the patron saint of these Christian ashrams in particular is the saint of ecology, Saint Francis of Assisi. Now the spirituality that we Christian ashramites live is exactly the spirituality of Saint Francis of Assisi. Therefore, I am very sure that these ashrams, which serve as venues and centers of promotion of dialogue among people of all faith, are surely, through their very life, through their very spirituality, and through all the efforts they make, are in a way kind of contributing and kind of giving their, participation, giving their own, contribution towards making this world a better place for everyone to live happily and joyfully. And therefore, ashrams are serving as a kind of places, gathering people of different faith, not so much to only pray and to kind of engage in some kind of worship, but many a times, our coming together is to discuss about problems that concern our people and problems that concern this planet Earth. To how, although we are seekers and our goal is one of union with God, but this God we all like to experience is a God who wants every one of his devotee to be really sensitive to the cries of the creatures of him, be sensitive to the needs of this Mother Earth, sensitive to the kind of needs of the planet Earth, so that all our discussion, all our planning, and even our kind of committing of our life is not so much for only God experience, but it is also so much for preserving and serving this Mother Earth, and to some extent, as people belonging to different religions, solve this ecological crisis. Therefore, this surely these different religions, and especially the Ashram initiative to bringing together of these different religious people can solve, if not directly, at least indirectly, the problems that we face right now with economy, or right now with science and technology, and also with politics. With politics. I have strong conviction, and I have hope that Ashram can play kind of a major role in inviting and working with people of different faiths in solving these issues and problems.
Wow. That is really beautifully said. Lot of hope is there. And also, I like the way you contrasted the ashram setting with the economy, politics, and science and technology setting. They are two different, like day and night. Economy, noisy, lot of waste, lot of hammering, lot of fast-paced, a lot of action. There is no time for reflection there. Also politics is a noisy world, and of course science and technology, fast-paced, noisy world, there is no silence there. So now you are contrasting Ashram, a setting completely called by a good name called counterculture. So that is true, 100% true. When you compare those three systems with Ashram, it's a counterculture. So I'm glad that the future can offer inviting them to dialogue with religions. The mere setting can send a message to them. Yeah, this is real life. This is what humans need. I mean, those three are probably distractions. They may not agree with you, but we can initiate an enlightening process for them. So this is what humans need, the silence, the order, harmony, and the enlightenment, awakening. Only this kind of setting can offer. And also this part of the environment our future generations need it in order to find their true essence and substance, in order to relate to the much deeper reality. So I think they will get the message. They will get the message. Probably they get the message and they can balance and they can come down. They can bring down economic growth. And they can come and balance. And they can still find value. And probably they will revoke the ethics, values, morals. In that way, they can contribute in solving our ecological crisis. So Acharya Guru, it was an uplifting experience. We have vast amount of knowledge and experience. And also, you have a way to express it. I mean, one thing having experience and knowledge, but expressing it's a gift. It's a gift. So when there is a need, of course, God sends His messengers. So that is what I felt today. Here is the God sent messenger with a message extending to all fractions to come and work for the common good of the planet. In this paradigm, every self-interest is denounced. This place, there is no self-interest, only common interest. We build three relationships here. Our relationship with God, and our relationship to the fellow humans, and our relationship to the whole of creation. That is what we celebrate in every ashrams in the world. Thank you, Acharya. May God bless you. And we have 4 future Acharyas. Yeah, they are competing to be Acharya of this place. So we are going to wait for some more time what these young Acharyas have to say. They have got a powerful message to share with you. So please listen to them. And I thank you for joining with us for the past 1 hour to find ways and means how to solve our ecological crisis. Wish you all the best in our effort. God will be always with us, and He is united with us forever. As He said, I will not leave you orphans anymore. I am with you until the end of time. Thank you and God bless.
This is Brother Sumit. I am very happy to be part of this group, and I would like to contribute my own reflection regarding ecology. From the beginning, as we see the God's creation, He created everything wonderful, and He gave the responsibility to man to care of every creature and all the living beings. In the course of time, the man became selfish and greedy, and he made use of the natural resources for his own selfish purpose. But again, God is asking each one of us to feel compassionate and to take care of the nature. I would like to share 3 factors what I learned from the talk of Father Rayappa. He was sharing about the ecological education and ecological spirituality and ecological lifestyle. If we follow these 3 factors in our daily lives, really we can bring a wonderful change in the ecological. As we are going to become a future man of the church, church is really asking us to take care of the Mother Earth, and it is our own responsibility that we need to take the steps to care for the earth and all the living beings. And wherever we are, let us take our own initiatives to care for the Mother Earth and make others aware of its usefulness to concern for the earth. I hope when we conscientize the people and when we follow this in our lives, really it will make a big impact in our lives, and it will help others to work for it, and it will bring a lot of change.
This is Brother Nirmal, and I am very happy to be part of this group, and we are discussing about the conservation of ecological issues, and it is prevalent in this context. When we see the creation history, God has created everything for the good purpose, for the well-being of human being. But when we see the other religion also, they speak about the conservation of resources which are available here on this planet. As Father was sharing, Father Chinnapan, from the other religion perspective, how the each religion speaks about the conservation of things in their own teaching, in their values, on their teaching. And likewise, when we speak about the Christianity, God also created everything for the good purpose, and we need to preserve those things for the future generation. It is not for our own purpose, rather we need to preserve for the future generation, so that they may enjoy the hard work, our fruit of our hard work, so that this generation may go in a smoother way. So what I suggest that we need to call the people of other faith as a interreligious dialogue. This place very apt ashram where we can edify the people whom we want to teach about the conservation of earthly resources, so that we may teach the people of other faith, so that we may get together and we may solve the global warming or the depletion of vegetation in today's context.
Good job, good job. Excellent. So this is this will be my mind. I am very happy to be the part of this interactive dialogue to protect the nature, and how each religion has a part in protecting and safeguarding the nature that God's given gift. And in this I understood there is no religion without nature, And the origin of religion comes from the nature. And they experience God in the presence of nature, and they cultivate that experience and put into one action and make God to worship and to serve Him. But this is a misunderstanding or a misleading of few people, maybe the religious people get out of that origin, and for their own selfish motive they make use of nature and destroy the nature. So it is our own duty, if we think of our origin and our experience where we got the God's experience in our life, when we look back and turn back to that life, surely we can be a caretaker of the nature and server of God in and through the nature where we live. So, to be a eco caretaker, to be a caretaker of the nature, we should have three values, as Father Rayappa said in his talk, that to be an eco-human, we need three values. They are righteousness, faithfulness and accountability. So when we are faithful to God, we will also love the nature, and we will also be faithful to the God's creation. As they are giving us, we will be also a responsible person to take care of them. And we should be a righteous person when we use a resource from the nature. What is needed for us, what is necessary for our need, only we have to take. We should not crave or we should not long more or greed more from the nature. And we should be also be a accountability what we receive from the nature. It's our duty to give back to the nature and to take care of it. So this will be helping us to be a eco-human and eco-warrior in our life.
David Raj, I am very happy to be with our fathers and my brothers to discuss on the topic called ecology. The basic concept of all the religion is love. So we can see everywhere the love is focused on only for the human beings, but we are failing to love the natures and the creatures which is surrounding us. I could say that I can compare the nature with the mirror. For example, when we go and stand in front of the mirror, it reflects our face, and when we keep some object, it reflects the same object to us. The same way nature. When we do something wrong against the nature, it reflects one in another way. For example, natural calamities. But we the human beings are thinking that because of the nature changes, it's for example, this rainy season, changing the season and coming and it's raining. But we are always blaming the nature, but we are failing to blame ourselves, because we are the main reason for all the natural calamities. And even I could say the karma. When you do something wrong, it comes back, and when you do something good, it also comes back. When we do something wrong against the nature, it only in another way it affects our upcoming generation. So let us love the nature and be an eco-warrior. Thank you.